I know what it's like to finally mean it. Not the version where you kind of try or you're mostly committed. I mean the moment where something in you goes quiet. You get clear and you are certain. Where you looked at yourself and said, "This is it. I am done living like this." I know that moment. I've been in that moment many times over the last 5 years, probably longer. And I also know what it feels like when it slips away again. Not because you gave up, but because something pulled you back that you still don't have words for. And that is what we're talking about today. And here's the part that is so hard to sit with because this time was different. You weren't halfway in, you weren't testing the water, you actually showed up. And for a little while, something was working. You felt it, and then something shifted. Not a big dramatic moment, just a quiet pull. And before you knew it, you were back to where you started, looking at yourself thinking, why do I keep doing this to myself? And that question is one of the ones that cuts the deepest because you are not someone who quits. I'm not a quitter. You have survived things that would have broken most people. You held families together. You kept going when you had nothing left. You showed up for everyone, even when no one was showing up for you. And somewhere in all of that, you stopped being someone you knew how to show up for. So, why is this the thing you cannot seem to hold on to? Why is everyone else the one you can fight for, but not yourself? I used to ask myself that same question. And for a long time, I thought the answer was just discipline, that I just needed to want it more, try harder, be more consistent until I finally understood what was actually happening. And this was never about discipline, it was about my survival. My body had spent so many years adapting to chaos, to uncertainty, to pain that came without warning, that stability felt strange. Consistency felt unfamiliar. And anything unfamiliar, my system treated it as a threat, not because I was broken, but because I had learned to survive in a way that kept me safe. And that system does not just turn off because you made a decision. If you go back and watch my other videos on how come you can't relax and other videos that I talk about the brain, you'll understand this on a much deeper level. So definitely check them out. Because when you have lived through real instability, the kind your body remembers, even when you try not to, your nervous system does not just simply follow your intentions. It evaluates first, it scans, and it asks a question before anything else. Is this safe? And here is what no one tells you. Change feels unfamiliar to a body that learned to survive in chaos. And unfamiliar feels dangerous, even when the change is good. So when you start showing up for yourself, when you start becoming more consistent, more focused, more you, something pulls you back. Not to ruin you, but to protect you the way it always has. And you're not stopping because you don't want it. You're stopping because part of you does not trust what comes next if you actually get there. And that is not weakness. That is a woman whose system learned that wanting something differently has not always ended well. And this is why more motivation will never fix this. Because this is not a motivation problem. This is a safety problem. And God said we're supposed to renew our minds, not push harder, not try again, renew. Because real transformation does not begin within what each of us does. It begins with what your body finally believes is possible for you. And if part of you still does not feel safe enough to receive what you're working towards, you will keep stopping. It doesn't matter how ready you feel in that moment. It doesn't matter how many affirmations you say. It doesn't matter how much you exercise. It doesn't matter if you change your diet. It doesn't matter if you work out more. Because until you make that internal shift, when you make that internal shift, when your system finally starts to feel safe in consistency, safe in growth, safe in becoming the woman you have always known you were meant to be, you stop fighting yourself. You stop starting over. You stop wondering why you can't hold on because you are no longer working against the part of you that has been trying to keep you safe. You are finally working with her. So if you've been asking yourself why you keep stopping, I need you to hear this. You didn't fail. You were not weak. You were running a system that was built for survival in a season that is finally asking you to live and to breathe. And those are two very different things. And this is the real work, not another plan, not another reset, not starting over again next Monday. understanding what is actually happening inside of you and creating the safety your system needs to finally let you move forward. And that is why I created the Inner Healing Journey Method, because I didn't learn this from theory, I lived it. And I built something for the women who are living it right now. One path, one focus, one place that was built for exactly where you are. So if this is the first time something has actually made sense to you, start right there. The link is in the description. And if you know a woman who keeps starting over even when she means it, would you please send this to her? Not because she needs more advice, but because she needs to know someone finally understands what she's actually carrying. Subscribe if you want more of these conversations. God bless your inner journey, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching and being here today.